All right. Something special in the box here. So I don't use these very often. I bought these things back when I was reproducing those Charles Rolfs pieces because I had to make my own dowels because the dowels had to be the same wood species, and it was kind of hard to find them to buy them in the exact size, and those things are super expensive. So I've got dowel makers. They can be a little sloppy, but they work. I've got 3/8, 1/2 inch, and 7/16. So we're gonna do the 1/2 inch. I've already cut up some 1/2 inch pieces of Purple Heart. Excuse me. First thing in the morning here. So these are, so the way this works is, it's pretty cool. It's pretty large there. I didn't measure this. I hope I made it a 1/2 inch. I'm sure it'll work. Yeah, I'm on the money. Actually, I'm a little proud, so that's fine. I guess the way the socket works is bigger than, oh, this says 5/8. Well, that's interesting. It says 1/2 inch on the box. I guess we're gonna have to test this and see what happens. No, it's 1/2 inch. I don't know why they give you a 5/8 socket for this. That's interesting. So anyhow, the idea here is that you clamp this onto something. There's a blade in here that's already been set. I've already honed these and worked them. They should be sharp enough to do the job. And then you put this on a drill, and your electric drill just spins this in to here on this end, and then it comes out as a 1/2 inch dowel. So let's go ahead and set that up. See if it'll work. It has been years. It could be a decade or more since I've used this. So let's see how it works out. I'm going to try to use this vise by sliding this all over. This could be a major disaster. Alright, I think this will work. I think it might work. Let's see what's happening here. I don't want this table to fall off. I've had that happen before. Somebody made a comment in the comments from yesterday's video on this. I 100% agree, man. He said, you know, trying to work, and it's funny too, because I wanted to talk about this. He said trying to make imperfections on purpose reminded him of people who buy jeans that are already messed up. You know, like, you see this. This is the thing these days, right? People are, and I've mentioned this before, people are buying clothes, especially workwear type stuff, where it's already worn out. There's holes in it. There's patches on it. There's paint splatters. Crazy, right? Crazy. So that's what he said. He said it reminded him of people buy jeans that are already worn out. That is the truth. 100%. I agree, man. But it's cool. So, you know, something like this, people want a rustic thing. It makes sense because what it would take in time to actually beat a table up over the course of time is a thing. And some, you know, some things you put it in, it's so pristine and new, it just doesn't fit with some decor. And also, what I've learned is, I was making these crazy cutting boards for a long time, and I was selling for a lot of money, and they were massive. They were like 2 1/4 inches thick, and the first ones I was making were really large, like 16 by 16 with an integral handle coming down the center with a hook design to the end of it, so you could hook it up on a wall with a hitching ring. And at the time, I was selling for $350 a piece, and that sounds like a lot of money. Wasn't worth it. The amount of time it took with some of these pieces had 50 parts to them, individual little tiny pieces of wood. That's what made it look so cool. It was like looking at a Mexican serape blanket. with all those different thicknesses and different colors and the way that I blended it, they were art. And that was the thing. People bought them as art. And they hung up on the wall, and they never wanted to use them. Now, about half of them probably never got used. I know one of them for a fact was used in a restaurant. That's how well it held up. And they eventually took that home, because after using it for about 3 years in a restaurant, they were like, we should take this home. It's too nice. That's a crazy thing. So when you have something that nice, you get it home, and you don't want to use it. And you're always telling, put a coaster under that. What are you doing? And you're so nervous it's going to get a scratch or a ding or something. So I remember when I grew up riding mini bikes, motorcycles, mopeds, all that stuff. And, but I got off of it for a while. And when I was going to start riding here in LA, just, 25 years ago or more, I decided, I should go to the safety course just for the hell of it. I know how to ride, but let me go do that. And I remember the guy said, during that course, he talked about buying a new bike. He said, the first thing you gotta do when you get a new bike is take the seat off and scratch the frame somewhere so you've already done some damage to it. Because eventually, you're gonna do some damage to it. You're gonna put it down or something. He's like, it was like a mystical thing. It's like, if you scratch it, you might not ever wreck it again. That always stuck with me. So anyhow, let's give this a shot. I'm gonna break out the drill, set this up. I'll do a close-up for you, and you'll see it. Whoopsie. Took me about 15 minutes to find this sucker. I need a better shop space. That's all it is. I'm thinking that the house in Arizona, there's a side on the house there where there's enough space for me to build a structure where I could build a pretty decent shop. I think I'm going to try to make that happen because it's just nuts in here. It's just nuts. Anyhow, stick around. Oh boy, you wouldn't believe what I just went through. So I was trying to find something that allowed me to take this 1/4 inch and step it up to 3/8. I don't think I'm on camera here probably. So I could not find that. And I was about to take one of these extensions and cut it. Because the... I'm losing my mind today. I'm losing everything else. I just can't find anything. I have no idea where this thing went. It's got to be on the end of one of these. No, it is not. Wow. So I got to find that anyhow. So there's a socket. Geez, my God. I am fresh. Can you tell I'm frustrated? 30 minutes of this looking for the thing I needed, and now I can't even find the socket. 3/8 1/2 inch. Okay, I must have placed it down somewhere where I can't find it. But the point is, I was going to cut one of these down, and then I opened one of these other ones just as a last-ditch effort, and I found that, which is what I need. But that's the thing, man, about this working. Honestly, I spent half my time just looking for crap. It'd be better. That's the thing. I'm really envious, slightly jealous of these really nice workshops where everything's laid out and you can just look up and every tool is right there where you put it back in the same place every single time. But in this space, I do so many different things. I got to put these people's car in here every night, and things get misplaced. And this is not going back in that box. This is going in my tool kit because that's where I normally always look for it. But that's it. Just a little bit of what happens. Of course, filming stuff. I was just saying. Of course, filming stuff, doing this also eats up a lot of time, and that's kind of a bummer. But I do it for you. All right, now let's see if this actually works. I know it works. I just don't remember if it's... I think it comes out very clean, but for these purposes, it'll be fine. Okay. That's exactly what I want right there. I don't know if you guys can see this, but that's actually too long, but this is good. So the idea here is that I'll cut this. I don't know if you guys can see all this on camera. You cannot. Okay. So I'm going to cut this short, and I'll hand shape it a little bit, but the idea is I got to leave a square up here This is what we're after right here. I got to make 8 of these. All right, so what this entails is doing a cut on every one of these. Create a shoulder cut. I've got to go all the way up to here. So there's a lot of waste on this. That's okay. This is a plug cutting saw, so it doesn't have any set. This is sort of saw, I've got a couple of them that I'll use once these are in, and these are sitting proud. I'll use this saw to cut them flush with the top, or, you know, pretty close. I'm already off. I gotta come up higher. It's all right. I'm working on the table, by the way, on purpose, because again, any little dings and stuff I get on the table are built-in character, so it doesn't bother me. So in a way, a lot of the stress on this tabletop when she gets it is real. Not, you know, fakey. Okay, so that happens, right? Now I'm going to cut this, the approximate length on the chop saw. Let me do that right quick. All right, so that's kind of cool. I should end up with a bunch of these little short dowels, which I'll stash somewhere because they will come in handy. This Purple Heart is kind of cool. A client gave me a bunch of this. She had a bed made out of this stuff. I don't even know, man. Over 30 years ago or something. And so the way they put it together was garbage. So I can't get a lot out of it, but getting stuff like this out of it's pretty cool. Okay, next step means I got to wear some glasses here. And now I just got to be careful about this. I can just go ahead and... So I'll just shape down this dowel here. Give you guys a tight shot of that. Just come around here. You want to be careful here. You don't want to cut down into this. I actually took too big of a chunk off there, but this is all going to work. It'll be fine. You know, these things aren't, they're going to do their function. They're basically designed to hold the breadboard edge from pulling off the table. And what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get, you know, something that's somewhat consistent and hopefully pretty close to center. Because fitting these is a whole other process. You know, making them is one thing. It takes forever, as you can see. But have to remember now, people were doing this hundreds and hundreds of years ago. I'm not doing anything new here. Everything I'm doing is what people have been doing forever, and they've literally been figuring it out with even simpler tools, right? You hear it all the time. It's a poor craftsman that blames his tools. It's neat to have a lot of little gadgets and things I have that we all have these days. But, all right, now from here, I'm going to hold this tight up to my body here, and I'm going to shave back this way. I hope this is on camera. All right, and I'll get this pretty close. Again, it doesn't have to be super perfect. It just has to do a job. And then I'll compare it to all of them. I'll get them close. I'll find a drill bit that's around that size. And you understand how this is going to work now. that's going to work. And that's a lot faster. So that's absolutely what I'll be doing. That's putting a square peg in a round hole. What? What? Oh yeah. All right. No problem really. They're in. And I went with 6. As I laid it out, I came in 4 inches from each end, and I wanted it equally spaced at the center, and they were just going to be too close together. And I didn't like the way it looked, so I realized 3 is better, and I'm happy with that. The next thing is to trim them all flush. And that's what I'm going to do next. You know, when you use this saw, I like to tip it like this a little bit. So I don't want to just drag it across the top of the surface and try to leave it proud a little. And then I'll tune that up with a chisel and a scraper. Looking good. And the reason you see me cutting it from all sides is because if you force this through and try to do it with one pass, sometimes that'll snap off. And when it does, it'll snap and a piece of the wood will be attached lower than the hole. You'll end up with a void. So I like to do that. All right, now I'm just going to trim them up, and with a real sharp chisel, get them real close. What I like about some old furniture is when they leave them proud and they kind of pyramid them, but on a table, you don't want too many things popping up. I did it with one butterfly and I got a little grief for it from you guys, but I'll probably take it down a little bit. So it's this simple. I'm just gonna get close, and then this is pretty close already, this one. I like that, actually. I don't have a huge problem with that. I'll hit that with the scraper probably. I don't mind that at all. You guys get the idea. Yeah, I'll take care of that. Well, good. Looks excellent. Not even trimmed yet, you know. So James Brown, James Brown, James Brown. Hardest working man in the show business. Alright. I'm trimming this now because everything else is done, and I want to make these perfectly flush, and this is the best way to do it. Pants. Speaking of hot pants, again, we got a special guest on our way. Hot pants. Better check these batteries. They're probably dead. Yep. This saw has no problems cutting this. One battery's fully charged, the other one's dead. Hang on a second. Alright. That should work. It has been one of those days, man, I'm telling you. Nice, nice. That's exactly what you want to see there. That's pretty sweet. I'm going to leave this square. I'm just going to, well, I'll show you. I'll be using a block plane. I'm going to chamfer all these edges by hand. It's the only way to give it a hand look, is to do it by hand. Let me get this set up on the other side here. All right. That is cutting so smooth, man. It's amazing. So, I'm happy. I mean, I'm definitely behind on this project, but I feel pretty good about where I'm at. So, there's still a ton more work to do, but yeah, gotta make the base. Try to start working on that a little bit, see how much I can get done before I'm interrupted. All right. I was just scraping the top down a bit. Making everything right. Yeah, so this sucker is pretty well tuned up. I mean, I'm going to put a lot more handwork into it, obviously, but I got to get the base made next. It is 38 9/16 of an inch wide. It's a real nice width. It's just right. Just right. I chamfered down the top and bottom edges. Did that with the block plane, and then I hit it with the sanding block. I like it. It's nice and clean. You can see by cutting this how, you know, perfect that is. So I'm pretty stoked. We'll be knocking off early because I got a, you know, that special visitor coming here any minute. So I'll get on the base tomorrow. We'll get it pretty far tomorrow. I'm sure I'll get the mortises done for the trestle base, and then I got to figure out the rest of it. Oh, there she is.
Hi. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just left my camera in here.
I was right in the middle of finishing up mine. I had no idea she was going to get here right now. Hang on. What are you saying?
It says this joint sucks. Horrible work. Hooper's rear end exchange.
That's the joint that did my rear end.
Oh,
Now,
that you had the problems with it.
What you don't remember is, remember when we
Yeah,
were
well,
out in
I remember there was a
Singing
problem
Valley?
that I didn't understand.
Right.
Yes.
Well, we did that whole thing. What was it?
Steel pass.
Steel
yeah,
pass.
it's no
And
joke.
the axle was not attached to the rear end.
And that was them.
And that was them.
Another Hooper's blooper.
I'm actually really glad you noticed that. So this is Sarah in my shop.
Hi.
We're super happy she's here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here in the big city.
And now we're going to go in the house. I'm going to show her some furniture. And it's going to be even cooler.
Mike finally lured me over to check out his wood.
Yeah. And there's the top, which I was just talking about with you guys. And I'm done with that for today. So stick around. There's going to be a few more minutes of this. So what do you think of that?
This is the most comfortable bench I've ever sat on. I mean, it feels like my cheeks are being caressed.
And
These butterfly mortises are tickling my bum.
You know,
actually, there are no butterfly mortises on this one. Feels great though.
there are on the legs.
Oh, well, that's not where my bum is.
Oh, look at you. I'm going to get a snapshot of you.
Okay. Bye.
I told her we're going to sign off, and I just let her stare at the camera for no reason. Thank you for visiting.
Oh, I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you for your hospitality. I won't hold the soggy fries and crappy wig against you.
Nobody knows that because I didn't film any of it. But we went to a taco joint. She had her asada fries like she always does, and it was horrible. But she did meet a famous street artist while she was there, and that was pretty cool. And you guys saw a picture of that already. You drive safe. I'll see you later.
Okay, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Enjoy your evening and go easy on the Jergens.
Oh my God. This is why I don't see her regularly. It's coconut oil.
Oh, okay, even better.
I'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
I love her. Anyhow, you guys got to see the top, and tomorrow I'm working on the base, and that's it for this video. Have a good day. Be good to one another.